Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Hello, what is up, guys? You know the deal. This is Hunter Klein bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 62, week number 62, going strong, guys. It's second nature now. I don't want to talk about it too much, right? Because every other week, I'm constantly spitting about the motivation behind the podcast, how we're feeling, the momentum, so on. Now, while I do want to include you guys into the behind the scenes thoughts and motivation behind the podcast, how things are going, I don't want to overdo it. Okay, I don't want to overdo it. But with that being said, things are second nature now. There's just no way we would ever skip out. It's a part of who I am, as cheesy as that may sound. It's a part of my weekly routine. It's a part of how I feel good about myself at the end of the week, right? This episode, this release, and things are going good. It's very odd. One of the most odd things about, I think, creating content in general, whether it be on YouTube, on Spotify, on Twitch, is my idea of what is quality, good content that people love is just very subjective. One week I may walk away from a recording thinking it was the worst episode we've had in months, and you guys could love it. It could be the most popular. And it's just very strange to me. It's very weird for me, and it's caused me to kind of step back and not be so judgmental of the content that I'm putting out there. I'm not putting as much pressure on myself because I know my opinion, what I think is good or not, is almost irrelevant. Right? Of course, I'll always try to bring in my A game. But for example, I was fucking sick as a dog 2 weeks ago and barely was able to push the recording out. And that week and into the next week, we had some of the highest numbers we've had in months. So what does that mean? I don't think that means that the episode was quality, but what I'm saying is that my opinion on what's good or not really has no influence in the short term on performance. And I think the number one goal is to just show up week to week. So as a result, I've lost a lot of the pressure. Right? I don't put pressure on myself that everything has to be perfect this week. Everything has to be thought out. Storylines have to be primed and ready. No, it's taking on a more relaxed nature. And that's what I mean when I say things are becoming second nature. There's not as much pressure in it now. We're having a lot of fun. We're enjoying ourselves and pushing forward, guys. Okay, pushing forward. Here is the number one problem I have. Not problem, duality I have in my life right now. Okay. And the question is, to set the stage here, where is the line between delusions of grandeur and beautiful, inspiring dreams? Delusions of grandeur could be thought of as an insanely large ego, or dreams so large that one could consider that person delusional for hoping that could happen. Again, where is the line between delusions of grandeur and beautiful and inspiring dreams? Okay, this is a huge gray area and a very fine line I find myself teetering on day to day, week to week, month to month. Where is the line between someone who is an inspiration to many or a self-absorbed psycho? Okay. It seems that when you chase these insanely large goals, You have these insane dreams for your Twitch stream or your podcast or your career. Talking about insane dreams, large, huge mountain to climb. It seems that you are a psycho. You are delusional until you cross that line in the sand labeled success. And it's hard. It's hard. You want to talk about a fruitful future of success and a wild endeavor. But society, and sometimes your brain tells you that it's crazy. Am I being too egotistical here? Am I too self-absorbed? Do I have too much confidence in myself? Or is there reason behind this? Should I have this much confidence in myself? And this battle is eternally rooted in me, it seems, until I cross some line in the sand that says, hey, you made it, so you were right. This is going to get very convoluted, guys, because this is a very difficult subject to talk on, and there's a lot to unpack here. And it's quite honestly very difficult for me to pinpoint the emotion here. But day to day, week to week, month to month, one of the biggest battles I notice within myself is that I'm constantly bouncing between an insane confidence in myself, believing that I can achieve things, believing that I can make one of the greatest podcasts in the world, believing that I can be the best in my field, to the next day, the next week, questioning whether or not my belief in myself is delusional, right? Is this a crazy journey to be on? Is this a crazy dream? Okay. I'm sitting in my room, recording myself talking, and posting it on the internet. That's pretty fucking crazy, right? And I think that sentence right there really poses one of the biggest problems with this. I mean, it's that it's very easy to take a passion, I think, and boil it down into something that just seems so delusional, right? Whether it be a Twitch streamer, right? These people make millions of dollars a year from playing video games and people watching them, right? I can imagine trying to start a Twitch career, sitting at your computer playing games with 3 people watching you. Your first 2 months of streaming seems pretty delusional, right? One day I'll have 50,000 people watching me play Fortnite. I'm not bashing this. People do it. People have succeeded. And I think it's a worthy dream to have if you're passionate about it. But if we boil that down, if someone's really questioning their Twitch journey, dude, I sit on my computer and play video games and 3 people watch me. Then see, what I'm trying to do here is shine a light on the duality here. It's so easy to boil aspirations and dreams down to something that seems very delusional, right? Joe Rogan's podcast, one of the most successful podcasts in the world, one of the most successful platforms in the world as far as news and entertainment. We sit in a room and talk to each other and record it. Right. Again, my point here is that when I am in the rut, right? When I'm questioning whether or not my belief in myself, whether or not this project, whether or not this idea that I can be extremely successful in this is in question. Whenever I'm going through these rough patches, these ruts of self-doubt and self-questioning, I tend to boil things down. I tend to extract a very raw and negative point of view of what we're doing here. Now, I want to be very clear here. This isn't 100% of the time, right? If this is how I felt 100% of my days, my weeks, my months, I wouldn't be doing this podcast still. Because on the other end of things, there are times when I am very confident in what we're doing here in the future we have to hold. I listen to another podcast, or I watch another podcast that is extremely successful, and I see these people and I say, I can do that. I am doing this. I don't have the platform or the fan base, but I'm doing this at the same level, if not better. So that helps me out. But again, guys, where is the line? Where is the line? You are psychotic until you prove that you are not. You are psychotic until you hit that marker that says, oh, wait, he's not a crazy person with an insane amount of belief in, or an unreasonable amount of belief in himself. Okay? And again, it's a constant battle. It is a constant battle. When I'm in these ruts, when I'm in these low spots, the question is, am I too confident? Why do I have this belief in myself? Is that belief in myself justified? Right? At what point do you fold your hand? At what point are you pushing forward without enough evidence to make it logical to move forward? And that's something I question. Again, I will never stop recording these podcasts. And that makes me feel sometimes like, where am I getting this hope? Right? We're not getting shouted out by Joe Rogan and growing insanely fast. The podcast grows by word of mouth mostly. We get new viewers every week based on shares on social media. But it's delusional. It's delusional. The growth is slow and steady. But I can't help feel that from a logical perspective, it is delusional. To have confidence in a weird passion like this, and to continually believe week and week that we can make it happen. And the more I talk about this, the more I flesh this out. It's maybe this is how you make it. Maybe this is what success is. A delusional belief in yourself, even when the results aren't showing that you should be that confident, right? Until something eventually happens. The dream. Never giving up. It's hard, guys. It's hard. This question isn't relevant to me because I will never quit. But I can imagine that one of the big, for me personally, thinking about this, the question is, when do you call it quits? When do you give up on your dream? How far does your belief in yourself go? How delusional are you? How far will you push it to really see if what you're doing has potential to boom, to change your life? How far are you willing to go to see if you can make a career out of what you're truly passionate about? And again, these creative endeavors are a whole different ballgame, guys. I'm not talking about career choices. I'm not talking about trying to be the best strength and conditioning coach in the world. Job positions, career endeavors, career dreams are very attainable. There's a stepwise progression to you moving up the ladder and becoming the head of your department, or a national level strength and conditioning coach advisor, or the best financial advisor at your firm because you work hard and you work your way up the ladder. And every 2 years you get a promotion. Right? Real world jobs are not what I'm talking about here. Motivation, belief in oneself gets very, very dicey when we talk about passions and endeavors in the creative realm. Twitch streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, these type of endeavors where there is no stepwise progression. Okay? There is no system organized around it. Where it's almost as if, it's a fight to the death in the pit. Okay? And all of these creative endeavors, a majority of people quit after the first 7 streams, after the first 7 episodes, after the first 7 YouTube uploads. Right? So a lot of people get weeded out at the beginning because there isn't that stepwise progression that one would get maybe in careers or maybe in school. And it just becomes a very ruthless endeavor. And what seems to happen is that people that are really passionate about it tend to get weeded out, right? They tend to last. Even though they're not getting the YouTube views, even though they're not getting the Twitch viewers watching them play a game, even though they're not getting podcast downloads, they love what they're doing and they stick with it for a long enough period of time where they get lucky or things gradually get to a certain level where it can be turned into something meaningful. And I think that's what we're doing here. And I know I'm ranting here a little bit, but this is such a huge battle for me, guys. Such a huge battle for me. Finding this gray area, teetering over this line of beautifully and inspirationally confident in myself, or delusional and unrealistic expectations of my future. Okay. And I teeter on this back and forth, and it's really what determines what side of the fence I'm on is my mood, right? My successes that I've had recently. How have I been doing day to day on my goals? Did I just pass this test? Pass this qualification? Are we making things happen? Am I moving forward? Am I progressing? Am I hitting hard in the weight room? So on and so forth. So yeah, man, it's a very interesting battle and a very interesting fence to battle with, right? And I think generally it's exciting for me. I think this adds another layer, another spark of life that keeps me going. I know a lot of people won't never experience this. A lot of people don't enter into realms like this. They work their job, go in the evening, and relax. Show up to the job in the morning, work hard, go home, relax. Nothing too extra. Maybe they watch some sports on the side. Maybe they play some basketball at the rec center. But this is a very, very unique feeling, I think, that comes from taking leaps and really seeing what you're made of. And I think it puts a unique challenge on oneself. And I have an extreme appreciation, admiration for anybody that, tries to create something out of nothing and stick with it for a long period of time. So shine on, friends. Shine on. We're going to end that there. I don't like to admit this, guys, because it makes me feel very animalistic, but I'm going to put it out there. Attractive women at the gym are a huge aspect of the joy and entertainment I get out of the weight room experience. I'll say it. Not proud of it. It's very monkey of me, but it could not be more true, guys. There's something about being in a weight room, throwing around weights, that is just very animalistic. Makes you feel like your true nature, the true monkey inside of you. Makes you feel like a badass. Okay. Now we'll bring up the fact that there is evidence to show that testosterone increases in the gym. Hormones are firing. So it's no wonder that you feel like a predator in the forest, right? Hunting a prey. You're really releasing all this aggressive nature out. And there's something about being in that mindset, being in that headspace, and then having like potential mates around you, having attractive females around you. Okay. I'm really looking at this through like a very evolutionary biology perspective, but there's something here. There's something here. There's something about killing it in the gym, working your ass off, and having attractive women, glance at you. You're making eye contact. Nothing really comes out of it because things are intense. Or on my end, I don't really talk to people in the gym. I don't really take breaks. It's all business for me in there. I'm like way too intense 100% of the time. I go for it. But there's something about it that triggers some dopamine in my brain or something, guys. Because the difference between me lifting in a weight room alone or me lifting with like 20 insanely beautiful women around me is huge. Okay, it is firing some type of chemical in my brain that is telling me, hey, all right, it's mating time. Like we gotta show what's up. All right, again, I'm not proud to say this. I don't really like that I'm talking about this, but it's the goddamn truth. All right, there is something about it. Pushes you a little harder, makes you think a little more, turns you even more into this direction of, human nature. Human nature. It's not a thing, but we just created it. All right. I've been an Amazon advocate since day one. I've been an Amazon fanboy for a couple years now. And I've talked about it in the past, guys. And I have not yet mentioned the beauty that is Amazon Fresh. Now, I will tell you guys right now, this is not an ad, but this is crazy. Okay. Not only do you get insane delivery speeds on almost any type of product you could imagine, not only do you get insane deals, not only are you able to compare prices by cents per ounce, cents per gram, so on and so forth. Not only are you able to 100% buy make the most educated purchases on Amazon for any product in the world, but you are now able to order groceries off of a product or a platform called Amazon Fresh, and they will deliver it to your door within 2 hours, guys. Okay? If you have an order over $35, if I have an order over $35, I get a free delivery and a 2-hour delivery. Okay? This is an insanely good deal. For example, I wanted to get some cold brew off Amazon. Turns out it was on the Amazon Fresh section. And it was only $5. And if I had $35 worth of product ordered, I could get it delivered to my house within 2 hours. So, what did I do? I bought fucking 10 huge things of Starbucks unsweetened black cold brew. And now my refrigerator is packed to the brim with cold brew coffee, and it is a beautiful sight. Now, is this an absolutely genius marketing scheme? Absolutely. I wanted one small thing of cold brew, and now I could feed an entire refuge with the coffee I have. Okay. But I have been abusing the shit out of this system ever since. I just bought like $35 worth of grapes. All right. It's a perfect time to say this. Frozen grapes are my favorite food on planet Earth. There is nothing more beautiful than getting done with a workout. Glycogen depleted, muscles empty, and I just throw some grapes into my mouth. Not only am I enjoying a sweet treat, but the frozen aspect of it is so quenching after a hard workout, and or restoring glycogen in the muscles, so I'm more ready for the next workout. It's a beautiful experience. Also, I noticed, first off, frozen grapes are 100 times better than non-frozen grapes. I'll say that. Also, I'm not a big fan of green grapes. I'll say it here. I'm not a big fan of green grapes, but in the case that I have green grapes and some purple grapes, if you mix them, okay, this is next level stuff. If you take one green grape and one purple grape, non-frozen, and throw them into your mouth at the same time, it is a life-changing experience, guys. Okay? I'm not a big fan of green grapes alone, but when you mix them with purple ones, throw them in and get that mixture in one bite, it's a life-changing experience. Bottom line, frozen grapes are the best sugary treat on planet Earth, hands down. I eat them like candy. Okay, they are quite literally my candy, and one of the only carbohydrate sources I have in my diet, which is important, right? I got to get that glycogen back in the muscle, make sure that we're not half-assing our lifts because we don't have the energy we need to push heavy objects. All right. As far as some news, what's going on in the world, guys, the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine has come out with some special aspects. Now, this is not, I know we've had like 75 vaccines come out in the last 2 weeks and no one cares anymore and no one knows whatever. Okay, but this is important. Okay, this new Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a single dose. All right, that means a lot for mass rollout, getting the population vaccinated, getting the world back to normal, and so on. Okay, it's a single dose. Another huge aspect of this vaccine that makes it very important to talk about is that it's very flexible. And what I mean here is that you don't need an insane cold storage method to keep these things good, to preserve these things. One of the biggest problems with the recent vaccines is that you need to hold them in, you have to have them in like 0 degrees Celsius. So they're on like dry ice. Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer are literally manufacturing their own dry ice so they can get these vaccines across the world, across the nation. Huge production costs for these vaccine companies. a huge barrier to actually getting these vaccines out to the public, and ultimately is reducing the time we have to get back to normal. So, the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a single dose. It doesn't need to be held in some insane dry ice, right? So it's very easy to deliver, and it's reasonably effective. Okay. Now here's the important thing here. Rather than me throw out percentages of effectiveness at you guys and bore you guys to all hell, I'll say what matters. Okay, one dose of this new vaccine will generally keep you out of the hospital, keep you out of the ICU, and keep you out of the morgue, says an FDA official who is working on the drug testing of this specific vaccine. Okay? So, like we've said in the past, vaccines will not stop you from getting COVID. So any news article you see where someone has retracted COVID after the vaccine that says these vaccines don't work is out of pocket. Okay, it's a dumb article. It's a fear-mongering, clickbaiting article. Okay, so let's get that straight. Vaccines do not prevent the transmission and retraction of COVID. What vaccines do, right? In this case, what this new Johnson & Johnson single-dose, very flexible vaccine does is keep you out of the hospital, reduces the risks of the COVID infection becoming severe. Okay? And it's really that simple, guys. So this is one of many. It's happening quick. Again, guys, I'm not going to throw out any ridiculous claims about, what the future is going to look like. Oh, we'll be back to normal in 2 months. I have no fucking clue. And quite honestly, I don't really care. My life's too damn busy to go out. I've got too much going on. So on and so forth. I'm okay with not being social. Somewhat. Not really. Yeah, that's just me. Yeah. No, discount that. All right. Let's talk on it while we're here. I'm noticing, guys. I'll go through a week, sit down at my desk one evening, and have a coming to Jesus moment because I realize I have not said a single word to another human for weeks. Okay, and that is crazy to me. I did not expect to talk about this evening, but this goes very deep for me. I noticed that in times of COVID, I think way more about interacting with people. In that rare instance that I do talk to another human, that I do interact with someone because I get out of the house or go to the weight room, it's a big avenue for me, or have a meeting, or like run into some chick random, I'll notice that because I'm not talking to people as frequently as I used to, because I'm so disconnected from human interaction, I think a lot more about what I say and how conversations went. Okay? It's like I haven't practiced talking in so long that I don't have the confidence I used to with conversating and communicating with other humans, which causes me afterwards to think more about it. I second guess myself. I question moves I make, things I say, how I go about a conversation, because I haven't been doing it every day. Because I haven't been in that groove. So that's been a very interesting aspect of the COVID-19 lockdown and human disconnection that we are all experiencing. What else is going on, guys? An under the radar space company, right? It's called Relativity. You've probably never heard of it. Is 3D printing legitimate rockets capable of flying to space. We are literally having robots print out rockets. Okay, this is very cool. I'm not going to get too much into the science, what's actually going on here, but these robots look like they're from 2100. They have arms and they just literally spit out these compounds and just fucking create things out of nothing. And it's absolutely incredible, guys. This idea of 3D printing has a very bright future and is nuts to me. Before we know it, we'll be 3D printing any type of furniture we need for our home. We'll be 3D printing appliances. We'll be 3D printing a coffee maker. We'll all have 3D printers in a special room in our house where we just create things. Who needs Amazon when you can just 3D print something in the middle of your living room, okay? And I don't think that's too far-fetched to say, considering we're 3D printing rockets that are shooting off of the Earth's surface into space and potentially carrying humans. Right? We're putting a lot of trust into these 3D printers, and this is only the beginning of this technology, guys. I think it's going to get nuts. Okay. I think it's going to get nuts. Along with this beautiful human advancement of 3D printing, we can now watch the Perseverance rover landing on Mars. Okay, I don't mean like some video footage from like 35,000 fucking miles away where you just see like a little speck like approach the Mars surface and you're like, oh. No, I mean like legitimate live footage from the landing that actually looks pretty high quality, guys. Like I watched this video and I was pausing it because you can like see the surface of Mars as this Perseverance rover lands. You can legitimately see the rocks protruding out of the earth. You can see dust flying as it's landing. It is crazy. It is crazy. I would say it's probably like 480, 720p footage. It's not the best, but damn, it looks good for however far that fucking planet is away from us. Now, to be clear, the Perseverance rover that I'm talking about now, that you can watch the footage of the landing, is holding the Ingenuity copter we talked about last week. A cool little space helicopter that was specifically designed to fly on Mars. Awesome, cool advancement. One small piece of the larger picture. Now, this Perseverance rover is holding the Ingenuity copter and is landing on Mars to look for signs of life on Mars in the past, right? We're looking to see if, did life ever live on Mars? All right, can we find something in that dirt, potentially below the surface? But guys, the footage is incredible. It's powerful. It's crazy to see this. When I watch it, all I could think about is like personally, like that moment you land on Mars as a human, and you step out and see this desolate red planet, and you look back into the sky. Oh, it's just so crazy to me, guys. It's so powerful to me to think about the human species doing some crazy shit like this in transferring from planet to planet. Making sure that we live very long. I think the beauty in this conversation, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, is perspective. Having the perspective. Realizing that we as humans are just a small piece. Me, Hunter Klein, sitting in this chair. It's just a very small piece, a blink of an eye, a speck of dust in the story, in the journey that is the human species trying to survive in this very, very intimidating universe. Okay. And as a result, these things carry weight. Yeah, things are happening slow. We just figured out how to fly a helicopter on Mars that's like a drone and not very effective. But the bigger picture here, guys, zoom out the lens, pull your sliders down, and think about, what this means for our future. God damn, I hope that we become human machine interfaces, cyborgs, and we can live longer than 130 years. That would be so fucking cool, guys. And I'm counting on it. I am 100% counting on it. What else do we have going on, guys? Amazon Fresh, new Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We talked about the footage. We talked about life. Things are going good, guys. Things are going good. A huge battle with myself right now. There's a lot of unknowns, but goddamn, are we just enjoying life right now? I need more friends. I need a community. That's something I'm missing out in my life hugely right now. Like I said, there are points in time, weeks in time, where I'm not talking to humans for quite a while. Is that a fault of my own? Some of it, yes. But the other part of that is, just an insane amount of responsibilities and trying to make sure that here in May, June, July, I have the foundation for a very fruitful career that happens. Wherever I'm moving, whatever my job may be, that I'm happy with where I am in life, so I can start creating friend circles, communities, and start building myself and start surrounding myself with people that are extremely successful and highly ambitious. So the way I look at it right now is not really the best time for me to really commit to a group, to spend hours and hours trying to find people that I can hang out with. It's grind time. We're trying to set ourselves up for success, and I'm willing to sacrifice a couple years of my life to make it happen, baby. All right. Alrighty, guys. The IP Monkeys hotline is 602-892-4371. Call in. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me who's listening to the podcast. Tell me what you want to talk about. Anything and everything. Doesn't matter to me, guys. Whether it be how you feel about women being in the gym or how you feel about humans traveling amongst the stars does not matter to me, guys. Just get involved. I want to hear who else is listening to the pod, all right? And again, that number is 602-892-4371. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you're on a low, battle through. If you're on a high, enjoy it, friend. Enjoy it. That's going to be it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. This is Hunter Klein, and you bet you'll hear from me next week. Peace, peace.